Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so excited to see the new subscribers. I thank you so very much. I love doing this work. And I do feel, honestly, this is not just about me getting on here with the cards. This is about an exchange. It's about community. And woo, do we need community now more than ever. We're going to get to that in a minute. Some interesting developments on the Democratic front that I want to share with you. We need to keep information that we can rely on and keep it, spread it as appropriate to help us all get through this time. A couple of housekeeping things I want to announce for you all. Number one, for those of you who are familiar with my Mojo Oil, it flew. Like, I got more orders than I knew what to do with. I'm so grateful for that. I hope that those of you who got it are enjoying it. It's something that I launched at a recent metaphysical conference, Susan Lynn's Connect to Empower conference in October in Denver. Made a few bottles just to, see what would happen. Just went like that in a flash, and then I came back, offered it on my website. Boom, 150 bottles I sold in about a day and a half. Couldn't believe the response. So what I'm going to do, you all, is I'm going to teach you how to make them, right? This is all about empowerment. This is not just about what I do. It's about what I know how to do and want to share with people to help empower them. That truly is a part of my soul. So January 4th, I am going to do a Zoom workshop, teach you how to make them, how to assemble your ingredients, how to charge a Mojo Oil, and how to make the best use of it. So check out my website, sign up for it. $29 I'm charging for that. It's going to be on a Saturday, January 4th, 2 p.m. No, I think 4 p.m. Eastern time. But anyway, my website, www.trulytouchedbytarot.com. It's on my booking page. You'll see it down there for the Mojo Oil. I'll put a link below as well, but would love to see you there for that, right? Because while I'm talking, don't talk about it, be about it, right? While I'm talking about it, let me do this as I am preparing to go to these cards. All right. So, I know many of us are still holding out hope that something, anything, give us some divine intervention right about now to reverse course on a lot of what we're hearing and seeing maybe in store for America. The intentions that he has put out, I'm just going to say dump for the day, right? Dump is the name of the day. So the announcements that Dump has made for his intentions on political appointments, like, it just goes from disastrous to horrific to just unbelievable. I feel like I'm watching a Jason Halloween movie, right? But that said, of those the names that we've been hearing coming up, the one of those that really concerns, I think, a lot of people the most is that of Matt Gaetz as prospective Attorney General. If that should happen, and before you all light up those comments like, that's not going to happen, she's going to get in. I get it. I'm with you. I stand solid with you. That is my desire. But I got to go with what I see. I'm never going to fake it. I'm never going to fake the funk with you all. All right. So, and I've taken some heat for that before, but that's okay. I'm a big girl. We're going to get through this together one way or another. If Matt Gaetz, in fact, is that, so now we've got Mitch McConnell cronies, like, what's his name? The one that has now been, they kicked Rick Scott to the curb. It's not funny. But he was all souped up, Remember, he was one of those who went to New York and stood behind Dump during the trial, standing strong, right? So he was all pumped up when his name got floated out there. And the Senate, when they took that private vote, they were like, no, sir, not going to happen. I had to chuckle behind that. But anyway, so now we've got John Thune out of South Dakota. He is going to be the Senate Majority Leader. And then we've got John Cornyn out of Texas, who was an alternate choice for that. But those two people are pretty, they're sort of the establishment in the GOP Senate, and they are Mitch McConnell cronies. So now they are faced with this task of trying to figure out what the heck are they going to do about Matt Gaetz and the potential, his potential appointment as an Attorney General. I mean, okay, let's keep going. I have to, there's an old saying when I was growing up, said you had to laugh to keep from crying, right? Some of you may have heard that before. Gotta laugh to keep from crying. Like, I realize it's not funny, but the alternative is just like, whoo, our heads would just, all right. So, Spirit, in all seriousness, let me gather my energy. Matt Gaetz, please show me the future of Matt Gaetz, because they're telling me now already, that report, he resigned so to try and stop the report from being released, the investigative report on his actions, allegedly, supposedly, for entertainment purposes only, with these having relations with these underage girls. There are numerous accounts of such activities, and so he bowed out. He said, okay, I'm going to resign and try and keep that. I am getting Spirit first. That's a different deck. Hold up. Spirit, will that report, will the Matt Gaetz report, the investigative report that's been compiled, will that get released? Will that get released? Oh, the star. We're going to see that report. Now, whether it is released through the House or Senate, whether it is released through political channels or somebody's going to leak it. Is somebody going to leak it to the press? Will the Matt Gaetz report get released to the press? The Four of Wands. That could very well be how it happens. The Four of Wands. Please confirm, Spirit. And the Tower. I ain't mad at it. Breakthrough. Boom. Boom. Now, but here's the thing. That's also like, so there's the angel on one side of my shoulder and I ain't gonna call it the other thing, but something else, that doubt on the other side, because there's the idea, yes, we're gonna see that report. That report is coming out, right? But I also get this vibe that, remember, for all of the astonishing facts that we have a convicted felon who has apparently, allegedly been voted into the highest office of the land, right? Just didn't stop him. And I think that's part of why we are just having such like the wind. I'm calling it a political pandemic, you all. I should have said that going into this reading, because that's what prompted it. That's what Spirit gave me. That we are in a political pandemic, right? But just like that other pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, many of us survived. We had a lot of losses, suffered a lot of pain, and I'm not calling that energy in or saying that's what we are about to undergo, but just as an analogy, just this is interesting, and it's going to require a lot for us. My point, going back to Gaetz, is remembering all of that and sort of what felt like the impossibility that with everything we knew, election interference, the hush money case, the civil fraud case, all of these things that happened, and despite all of that, here we go, right? Here we are. I get with Matt Gaetz, the Tower feels like, is that going to be enough for the Senate? All they need are, from what I understand, 4 senators to hold strong. You got, what's her name? You all know, I love working with this community. You all are informed and smart. And when my 60-something-year-old mind forgets names, what's her name? Susan? Somebody, one of them, women out of Alaska, I think one of them is, and one of them is on the East Coast out of Maine. But there are two GOP senators, females, who have tended to run counter to Dump in the past. You'll tell me who they are, and you know who I'm talking about. But they need at least 4, from what I understand, to go against Gaetz to get this not to let it go through. Will the Senate hold strong? Will they reject? The daughter of air, swords, basically, daughter of swords, and the 10 of pentacles. 10 of pentacles. So this is feminine energy. There's going to be a lot of discussion. There's going to be a lot of private conversations. There's going to be a how do we do this without ourselves endangering ourselves, because there is, you all, there is a spirit of fear among many in the GOP party, in the Senate. House is, we'll do that another day. But in the Senate, there's some fear in terms of those who genuinely do object to what they see unfolding, and despite whatever hopes that they had that Dump might make some better choices, and now they see it all unfolding. There's this, okay, there's a crisis of consciousness, and I think that's what that 10 of Earth is talking about. Will Matt Gaetz be denied? Will Matt Gaetz be denied that appointment? We have the Chariot. Chariot can go one of two ways. Either he'll get over the obstacle or they will move past him. Please give me clarity, Spirit. Matt Gaetz. The future of Matt Gaetz. Ace of Wands. Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands. So I think what Spirit is saying here is, normally when I see an ace, it's a yes, right? I think the Senate is going to revolt, not by any large numbers. I think they're just trying to get that 4 or 5 that they need to stop this appointment. But we also know that's why Dump has been talking about these, recess appointments. He's trying to work around every conventional and established means in order to get the people that he wants in. But what I want to do now then is I want to look at, there's always more than one way to go about something, right? Let's look directly at Matt Gaetz. And because this was the deck that Spirit led me to earlier, when I was thinking about him and his so-called nomination as Attorney General. Matt Gaetz, Spirit, please show me Matt Gaetz between now, past, present, future. Past, present, future, Matt Gaetz. Past, present, future of Matt Gaetz. Thank you. Past, present, future. Ooh, I thought that was coming, but it's not. Past, present, future of Matt Gaetz. I get a little hyped because, stakes are high for us right now, and I have to center my energy so I can feel objective. Past, present, future of Matt Gaetz. Past, sufficient. He thinks he's done what he's done. Present, guarded. He's anxious. Future, insult. I ain't mad at that. So, past position, I get this card that says sufficient. A little smug. Little, I laid the groundwork. We know he's absolutely been Dump's, whatever you need, you got it from me. That boss kind of guy, right? Right now he's guarded. He's stealing for the worst. He knows this man is not liked. We had Kevin McCarthy, I don't know if you all saw that clip. Kevin McCarthy came right out and said, this MFer, basically, is, he's why I got lost, because he's out here doing whatever with underage girls, and supposedly, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, he was truly angry about that. He's guarded. I'm going to go clarifiers on these as well. And then in the future, I got insult. Is he going to feel insulted because of the backlash that he will get from the Senate? Not only that, but Spirit just said, not only that, but let's go worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, this appointment, do you really think anybody of any merit is going to stand behind him and follow his directions? There's either going to be a mass exodus from the Department of Justice on down. I mean, it's just going to be so chaotic that it won't be functional. And I think that's the part that it's almost as if I see this insult one of two ways, you all. One is the senators, whether we like them or not, whether we agree with their, the Mitch McConnell cronies, like, not my friends. But the idea that they see their positions as representing something within a governmental body that would be completely dismantled and a joke to the global community, much less Americans They are insulted. They're feeling insulted as well. I want to go back with clarifiers. Past, present, future. You know, okay. So in the past, when I pulled these clarifiers, I got regard and identity. Regard and identity. This just confirms essentially what we saw in Sufficient. He spent a lot of his political capital, to the extent that he even had it, Matt Gaetz, to the extent that he really has it. Although, hey, he did what he did with McCarthy, right? You know, he got that ball rolling. Okay. So he has built and invested his entire identity on dump, on riding with dump, one way or another. All right, up or off the cliff. That's what he's doing. In the present moment, we saw that guarded, right, and then we get kin and scent. He's looking for. They're putting muskrat in my mind. The solidifying the support that he has within Dump's ranks. He's relying on them to somehow outmaneuver, figure out a way to override whatever he knows may be coming from people like Thune and Cronin et al. You know, those who see this as absolutely unacceptable. So he's going behind the scenes. He's not even totally relying on Dump at this time. He's also going behind the scenes to everyone within that circle. The Susie Wiles, the Muskrat, everybody that's within that circle right now, that's who he's relying on. In the future, we saw that insult, but then we saw similarities and encouraging. That kind of gives me the willies a little bit, because it feels like there may be a delay, or he's told that there's a delay in there's a real fight, and there's a delay in something like that coming through, but there's the Eight of Earth, somebody saying, stay the course, we got you. One way or another, we got you. Keep your eyes on that. I think we need to hold our energy that all we need is 4 or 5 senators, and that there would be an objection to this whole thing that Dump is trying to put into place with these recess appointments to basically override the whole process itself. It cannot be done, and many of you are much more familiar with constitutional law than I am, so please feel free to leave your comments and share information in this community. Again, I have to say though, I've been insulted. I've seen people insulting others in the comments. When I see that, I block and delete them. But even if we disagree, or even if we have, different points of view, I just ask that we keep it respectful, and we keep it more, of a dialogue, and respect one another in this space. Otherwise, I will step in and block people and delete them. Okay? I don't want to turn comments off. I know some readers have decided to do that, just to get rid of some of the vitriol and attacks. They've actually, we have that option when we take to turn comments off. I do not want to ever do that, because that for me, takes away some of the air in this space that we've built. All right, let's flip the script a little bit, and let's go to something I have seen that's more positive. Are you all hearing about this BlueSky? Social media app that, as part of the resistance movement that is also growing right about now, that for many people who are trying to come off of the X platform, and still be able to get good and timely and reliable information and content. BlueSky apparently is taking off. BlueSky, I forget his name, but BlueSky apparently is a social app, for those who may not know, that was created by the guy that left X after Muskrat took over. So the platform itself is stable, it's solid, it's has a really easy interface, and I have to thank Maria, if you're watching this, one of my subs, and has been with me in many workshops. She's in the community, beautiful spirit. Emailed me the other day and said, "Are you on BlueSky? I've been looking for you." And I was like, what is that? So I am now on that. Deleted my account off of X, as has people like Joy Reid and many others who are in the media, in news, etc. Thought thinkers, powerful people are migrating over. Some still have both accounts, but definitely if you're feeling that, if you are not already off of X and you've been feeling like you need someplace else to get reliable news, BlueSky is what's happening. That's what's popping right now, you all right? Now, political pandemic. Gotta get our immunity together, okay? We have leaders like AOC, very interesting interview that she did last night on MSNBC with Joy Reid, talking about the fact that in her district they found out that supposedly, while she had no problem being elected, that the same people demographic that elected her, many of them also apparently voted for Dump at the top of the ticket. So we've heard about this around the country, that there are many ballots that came in very, very mixed, a mixture of Democratic and Republican, where he got maybe supposedly at the top of the ticket, and she and other people have Democratic leaders were elected in other parts of the ticket down ballot. AOC has opened a dialogue with many people and said, hey, tell me what this was about. Why did you do this? And so that was a really interesting conversation. I would encourage you. It wasn't a long clip, maybe 5 minutes. You can probably find it right here on YouTube. But that was an interesting conversation because it was the economy from her perspective, or what she got from her constituents, was that it was very much about the economy. But there are people like her. We've got Ruben Gallego out of Arizona, beat the heck out of Carrie Lake, right? He's Democratic, Latino. We've heard all of this. I've talked about it on this channel. We're hearing so much about the Latino vote, particularly the Latino male vote. And so he, as a Democrat now who's won office, what lies in store? I get the sense Spirit is saying we also have, just like we heard Project 2025, now we're hearing, you can Google it, we're hearing Democracy 2025. Democracy 2025. There was an organization called Democracy Forward. It is, it's an amalgamation from what I understand. I'm still learning about it, but it's an amalgamation of many different organizations and political leaders. I saw yesterday that they have over 280 organizations that have signed on, governmental leaders, others that are within the movement, Mark Elias, that many people are familiar with Democracy Docket. So they are amassing attorneys generals, governors, economic leaders, etc., to build a nationwide coalition to revamp and to some extent examine the Democratic agenda moving forward. So to the extent that I'm getting from Spirit, to the extent that many of us are feeling like, what do I do? What can I do? How do I cope? We are hearing over and over again that building community, being a part of communities, reaching out, staying active is crucial. It is crucial. We cannot retreat. We cannot sit back and turn on one another. We have to, figure out ways to make some adjustments and regroup and figure out what it is that we're going to do, because we're not going down like this. All right. So I wanted to make sure I got the word out about that. If you're not familiar with that, look up Democracy 2025 or Democracy Forward. See what you can find out about that. Finally, I want to close this out, you all. I am starting to see already, and I don't know whether to kind of lean into it or be upset with it. Gavin Newsom is already, now we knew, Spirit said a while ago, Gavin Newsom was coming in 2028, one way or another. Kamala Harris or no Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom was coming in 2028. He's been prepping for that for a while. he can't, he's at the term limits. He's done as much as he can do, or at the end of his term. I think it's 2026, if I'm not mistaken. He's done as much as he can do in California. He's coming to the tail end of that. So he's been out there, doing his thing, making sure his face is seen. There was some buzz that when Joe Biden decided to step back and announced, handed the reins over to Kamala Harris, there was a little chitter chatter. Some of you may remember about the whole, well, wait a minute, we didn't have a primary, because the idea was that perhaps he would have been selected as an alternative in the primary. How he felt about that, let's take a look at him, why don't we? Gavin Newsom, but I also, there have been these memes that have started to crop back up with him, where he's sitting in a chair with Toni Morrison's Beloved, and a stack of, Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. He has like this stack of banned books, and he's coming out supposedly, as a proponent, why are these books banned? Let me see what this is really all about, type of thing. Interesting. There's a part of me that just got it was like, Spirit, too soon. Like we're still 10 toes down with Kamala. Like what we felt with her and Tim Walz. Like I don't know about you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't know that America is ready. I'm getting from myself as a woman of color in this guy, and also as a spiritualist from my guides. Like this could be a little bit too much too soon, right? Let's look at Gavin Newsom. But he could be talking about a political pandemic and the immunity that we need. Like we need all hands on deck. And if he has a following, a voice, strength. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna fight it. Strength. He does project that. I think that there are, for those conservatives and Dems who had issues with Kamala, maybe there is some sexism. Not maybe. Let me say it like it is. It was sexism. It wasn't just racism. There was, and perhaps even more of an issue of sexism than racism that happened with her. So Gavin Newsom, what's his angle? Five of Wands, Temperance. He sees himself as, and the Ten of Swords, right. He sees himself as, and the Queen of Pentacles. That may be someone in his life. I don't know why and the Sun. Okay. We're going to be dealing with some Gavin Newsom. Let's just say that. Both now and in the foreseeable future, as the future of the Democratic Party takes shape. I feel like Kamala Harris, I'm going to look at her real quick. I haven't planned to do that, but I'm going to do it. I feel, Spirit, please tell me if I'm right. I'm feeling like Kamala Harris, if things do not go the way that we all pray and hope and wish that it would, with an investigation of the voting machines, etc., etc., if this steamroll continues in the direction that Dump wants it to, where is Kamala Harris after she, after the vice presidency? Because I am almost feeling, you all, many people have already said there are two things. One, there's already Newsom 2028 shirts out there being sold. Somebody told me on Amazon. I haven't checked to see that for myself yet, but there's already Newsom 28 stuff happening. There's also been people who have said, hey, let's just bring back Kamala and Walz for 2028. Let's not give up, because at least they would have the time. Let's remember that 100 days, right? They would have the time to actually launch a full-scale campaign, having learned everything now that they've learned about this set of circumstances and making the adjustments that would need to be made. But let me look at Kamala Harris. Spirit, is Kamala Harris still, if she is not in office in 2025, they're telling me don't do it that way. Will she be in office? Will she be in office as the president in 2025? Two of Pentacles. No. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Nine of Swords. Seven of Wands. Now, I didn't put a date on that. It's not January. Some people have said, well, it won't be January. It'll be March. It won't be March. It'll be April. There'll be a delay. It's going to be chaos, and it'll be later. Will Kamala Harris be President of the United States sometime during the year 2025? Will she be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States in 2025? Six of Cups. Six of Wands. Interesting that we're getting those sixes there. And the Princess or Prince, or Page, actually, in this deck, they call it the Daughter of Wands. You all, I don't like seeing this any more than you probably like seeing me say it or pull these cards. But energy can always change. Man, do we know that from the absolute conviction and positivity of the cards that we were seeing. But energy is fluid. There are so many things that are happening astrologically, that are happening behind the scenes politically. And so when we go to this, spirit is never going to override free will. It won't. It can give indications. It can give likelihoods. It can tell you certainly the best energy and outcomes of situations, but it is not meant, this system, or at least I'll speak for myself as a spiritualist, it is not meant to override the free will of any people or being or happening. All right, so I have to always stress that. So energetically, I am seeing her in 2025 regrouping the between the Six of Wands, victory, and the Seven of Wands, a card of being steadfast, stand your ground card. It is there's something where she is a fighter. We know that she is powerful. She is more than qualified. So she is still in the mix. But whether this train can stop rolling with dump enough and shine, will she come back in 2028? If she is not, if the things don't go her way, will we see Kamala Harris back on the national stage in 2028? Prince of Wands, King of Wands, and the Lovers, and the Star. She hasn't decided yet. You know, oh wow. This really makes me sad, you all, because she feels so incredibly let down. I mean, for all of the angst and for all of the anger that we're feeling, just put yourself in her shoes for a moment. It's almost as I'm getting like Spirit is saying, is she capable? Yes. Does she have the fire? Yes. Will she have enough energy left in the tank to remount and regroup and do it? Yes. Will she want to? That's the, the Star. Because here's the thing too that I just heard. Let's think that through. If everything went another way and divine intervention and she is sworn in, but the Senate holds and the House holds, right? What does she do? And I think some of that is factoring into her thinking as well. Some people have expressed a lot of frustration that for all of the it's almost some blimp things going across the sky saying, hey, it was fixed, right? Not even about conspiracy theories. It's about common sense that some things just weren't adding up. But so why hasn't someone already, either her campaign, Joe Biden, why aren't we hearing more to actually push that forward, make something of it, get these brakes pumping right now because January will be here before we know it. Why is that not happening? And I'm getting a sense that even within her, there may be a little bit of conflict around if I am there, but I'm also up against this, right? We saw Barack Obama go through it. We've seen other presidents go through it. If the tenets of the way our government are set up hold, and you have a president that you want, but then you have other bodies that are absolutely, set against and want to defeat every policy that president is trying to put forward, where are you, right? Where are you? That's a lot of what's going on in her mind, you all. So a lot of this is question marks, and what we're seeing is just energy. I hope it's giving you some perspective. Please, by all means, let's let some of that anger and disappointment settle. Keep yourself strong. Resist. I got a comment from someone saying they're already they're making bracelets, and they're making bracelets that say resist. We're probably gonna see if you're on this channel and and you've got a website, put it in the comments. We want to know about it, because we need each other, and we need this community, and we cannot stop now. Political pandemic, y'all. And just like we did with that other pandemic, we had to figure out what the vaccine was, how we were going to get our immunity up. We had to take our vitamin D and C and our zinc, right? We want to live, and we're going to live through this. We're going to be okay. All right? Enough of that. I don't want to get preachy. I'll talk to you really soon. Have a great weekend. Be safe.